Today, there's again a lot of informational garbage. The students have no idea of the fundamentals. I think it's simply not the right thing to steal someone's hard work and earn money out of it and not pay the person back. Today, most of the young music producers, they cannot live without Omnisphere. They cannot live without Nexus or Contact. Hey, why do you want to steal it? Why do you want to crack it?
At least to create the equilibrium between what somebody is asking and what we want to
We deliver.
artistically give.
Yes, TSOS stands for the Songs of Society. Combining rock or heavy rock with rap is definitely going to be a very powerful medium to express your thoughts.
Once upon a time, it was a dream. Now it's a reality.
You have worked with almost every music producer in Coimbatore, and some of your records are still on their shelves. So I want to, yeah. If you are not making the right decision of doing the right thing at the right time, then you're going to end up doing nothing.
No fairy tales podcast, keep it real. Podcast is real. History is his or her story. No fairy tales podcast, keep it real. Podcast is real. History is his or her story. Keeping it real, keeping it raw, keeping it raw.
What up, everybody watching and listening? It's your boy CALEB, your host Caleb Stephen Raj. Welcome to the first episode of the No Fairy Tale podcast. Put your hands together and make some noise for Arun Chitturi in the building. Yep. Let's go. Brother, thank you so much for coming. Yeah.
Thanks for having me, bro.
But for the people who don't know what we were talking about, right? Just give us an intro of your journey from being Arun to Arun the composer, Arun the vocalist, Arun the guitarist, Arun the musician. Yeah? Take us through a journey.
Yeah, sure, bro. So I think my journey started off somewhere around, 25 years ago, roughly 25 years ago. I think it was in 1998. I don't remember the year, but I think it's right after my schooling. That was the first time, I was introduced to the guitar.
Okay.
Before that, while I was doing my the school, I remember listening to bands like the pop artists like Michael Jackson, Glenn Medeiros. I don't know if most of people even know who Glenn Medeiros is, but accidentally I got an opportunity to listen to these bands, and I was really stunned by the music that Michael Jackson was making back at the time. I was really digging into that music, especially this album called Dangerous, right? So I think that was the first album that I ever heard. Yeah, I had that cassette with me for I think nearly 3-4 years. It was like one of my greatest possessions. Unfortunately, I don't have it anymore.
What is your favorite song on the track?
Definitely, it's the title track, which is Dangerous. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's those were the early references that I can make to my musical journey. I didn't even know how to play an instrument back at the time. But I think in 1998 or 99, when I finished my school and stepped into the pre-college kind of thing, right? There were these guys, a few friends of mine, who were from Nepal, Manipur, Mizoram. These guys were pretty good guitarists actually back in the day. And I think they're born with that musical or whatever, abilities, I believe. Those guys were pretty good at playing the instrument at the time. So we had this one guitar in the hostel that I used to stay. With great difficulty, I used to get that guitar from its owner, have it with me for a day or so in a week, and that's how I used to play guitar. It was like I used to borrow the instrument from a friend of mine. Then I started picking up a few songs. The first song that I learned on guitar was Guns N' Roses by Guns N' Roses. The name of the song is Don't Cry.
Oh.
That's my favorite song. I have a friend of mine. He taught me the song, the chords A minor, D minor,
Okay.
G major, then C to E and all this stuff. The irony was I didn't even know how to play a C major scale back at the, when I picked up the guitar and when I started even playing these songs, I didn't even know what was a major scale, what was a minor scale, seventh, all these things. It was straight pick up the guitar and, the guy says, this is A minor, you hold A minor like this. This is C major, you shift your fingers and then it becomes C major. So that used to be the way of learning. I didn't have any traditional sources, no trained teacher or a tutor, somebody from whom I could take lessons and all that. I didn't even have that sort of a mindset.
Okay.
It was just okay. The instrument is fascinating. Okay, there are people who are playing it better than me. What more do I need? So I used to, make friends with them, maintain good relationship with them, so as to learn the, stuff. So that used to be my way of learning things. So I think I literally spent so many years learning guitar in an unconventional format. But I think after the first 5 or 6 years, right, I was able to improve my playing by a lot. But we didn't have anything, any information media like YouTube or some articles, internet and all at the time. It was very new. YouTube was not even in the picture then. I think internet came in and it was pretty expensive. You got to pay 60 rupees per hour. It's like 1 rupee per minute. So 60 rupees per hour internet was quite
Yeah.
expensive. And my pocket money was only 20 rupees then.
Okay.
20 rupees to fill petrol in my bike, then have my breakfast or lunch, whatever, and then go to college, go back home. In that was, I think, in the first year of my graduation. That's when the internet came into existence.
Okay.
So when internet came in, we didn't have a lot of information related to guitar playing and all. All I used to refer to was this magazine called Rock Street Journal, which I used to buy. It was like, once in a month journal. I used to pay 100 rupees to get that magazine, to see, who are the best guitarists in the world. It doesn't have any information that you can, use for your real time playing, but it's just like a magazine, like India Today. Rock Street Journal used to be a magazine. So I used to wait literally until the magazine comes and then, pay that $100, save up for that, save for that magazine, pay 100
Yeah,
rupees.
5 days pocket money.
Exactly, yeah. Get that magazine, and then read that magazine, go through it again and again and again. Look at the guitars these guys were holding, the fancy guitars. I mean, all these things without the knowledge of my parents, because the people around me, my friends, my family members, it was quite unconventional for them to see me in such a setup, because I come from a Telugu speaking state, Andhra Pradesh.
Yeah.
So back in the day, it was only Telugu, Bollywood, and then Hindi music, that used to come in on this T series cassettes, magnetic tapes. So people, it was pretty crazy, and I'm from a locality where people do not know what English music is, or what is rock music rather.
Yes, sir.
So whenever I used to play some stuff at home or outside the college, people were not able to relate to the kind of music I was playing. They knew that I was doing something, but they were never able to relate themselves to what I was playing. It was, I mean, I don't think it was a big factor for me, because I never stopped or I never got demotivated in all these things. I used to play because I was so passionate about playing the instrument. So I, in that journey, like, my friends taught me a lot. The magazines helped me a lot. So there was this. There used to be this magazine called RSJ, which stands for Rock Street Journal. So I think that was one of the most popular magazines back in the day.
Okay.
Where you could find information on who are the best bands in India, the best rock bands, upcoming artists, and then the international artists.
Okay.
I used to have this magazine and then go through it over and over and again every day. After coming home, or whenever I find time at the college. So this is how I used to build my knowledge of music, because absolutely there was no opportunity for us to know who was the best guitarist or who was the best band, which band was making it to the top 10 that week or that month on the charts. All this information used to come in this magazine called the Rock Street Journal. So it costed like some $100, 100 rupees back in the day. I used to save up for it and then, buy it without the knowledge of my parents and then have it. And then we used to circulate it amongst like-minded friends. So these were all the sources of information, and, these helped me a lot to get that perspective of, how rock music is, and, who are the rock artists. And then I got introduced to this brilliant band called Nirvana.
Oh,
Yeah, these guys are phenomenal artists. I mean,
Yeah.
Kurt Cobain, Dave Grohl, Chris Novoselic. So I think this band Nirvana had it left a major impact on my musical journey. I think I was influenced a lot by these bands. I used to dig them a lot, listen to these bands every day and night. Then, try to learn their songs. Then, I also could play a few of their songs back in the day. I used to perform their songs. And I think things were slowly, going in favor of me. But there was not a lot of support from the family or friends because, at that time, it was a huge risk for someone to choose music as a career, especially rock music as a career. And then I didn't have any clue as of what I was going to do being a rock guitarist. Yeah, all I could do was just play for myself and then play for a few friends and then play on the stage in the college and then take part in some competitions and things like that. So I mean, it was absolutely clueless, but I never stopped my learning at any point in time. I think it was until 2005 or 2000. Yeah, I think in 2005. That's when I actually had to put a break. I mean, put some breaks to what I was doing, and then I had to get seriously into some studying and all that stuff. Then post my studies, I got myself a job in an MNC. So I became the standard, IT guy and all that stuff. So work took a major toll on my music. Yeah, music. So music was taking a backseat. Every day it was like 8 to 10 hours of work and a lot of commutation. Then I was not at my hometown. I had to relocate to Chennai
Okay.
for my job and all. Then I was staying away from my family and all that. But again, I had a few friends there who were into music, and then there were this. I had my guitar and all these things, so I used to get jam with those people. Not a lot of opportunity there again, to make it very big, but it was just like some unofficial and friendly jams over the weekends. Go see people, and then like that. And I used to attend a few concerts in Chennai every week. So that's how I used to spend most of my time. And then at one point I thought, okay, I think my music should not be taking a backseat. No matter what I do, I need job for my survival.
Yes.
At the same time, I need to have my music thing up and running. Then again, so what I picked up some an electric guitar. Then I got some processor and things like that, and got a new amp. Then I set up all these things and I started exploring a lot more about how these things sound, how these metal guys play and all these things. Again, it was just more of the YouTube learning and the things that I learned from friends. Everything came together, and then I started practicing so many hours. I used to work for 8 hours, then I come home and literally the whole night I used to sit and practice the stuff. Hardly like 2 to 3 hours of sleep, and then go back to our office, come back. So things were going on like that for 10-15 years. Then slowly I started getting into the recording side of it. A few of my friends who were already good composers and music producers, those guys were working on the recording softwares like Cubase, which was pretty popular back in the day, right?
Yes.
So then I think I got an opportunity. I don't know. I don't remember when, but it was very long ago. I got an opportunity to record for a Christian song. I had to play a quick solo. I had to solo over a track.
Okay.
So that was my first recording experience in a professional studio. So then I think that had taught me a lot of things, not only as a musician, or not only to to learn how to play, but how to behave, how to carry yourself as a musician when you're at a studio versus when you're at home practicing, or versus maybe when you're doing a casual jam.
Yeah.
So these things helped me a lot to shape up myself as a studio or a session musician. Then from then I started getting more calls for session recordings through references. That's how it happens in the music industry, right? So people got like, okay, who played this lead? It's pretty good. Then they got my contact. So then they keep passing it on to people, and then you make more friends in the industry. So that's how I was able to get this session recordings and be a session player. I think I was more of a session player than a live player, because most of the time for me goes at the office. Used to go at the office, and then the remaining time,
The time, yeah.
Yeah,
The
I
gig
used-
time doesn't happen. at the
exactly.
same time.
And then
Yeah.
I was also doing a lot of covers,
Okay.
for my YouTube channel. So I literally didn't have any time left for gigging and things like that. So that's how my I think journey started off, from being an amateur, to knowing some things in between, or maybe during the journey, and then eventually turning out to be a session guitarist. And then after being a session guitarist for a while, I started getting good at recording my own music, because I used to spend a lot of time with my friends, watching these guys tracking my guitars. And sometimes I used to sit there and spend some more time to see how these guys are mixing stuff, how these guys are tracking the other instruments, what are the things that these guys are doing to make it sound better than the source. So these are the things that I was quite inquisitive a few years ago. So I think I learned a lot of things from most of the friends, my musician friends, and some studios that I used to go there. I always used to make friends with those guys, so that they used to allow me to sit in the studio beyond the session time and give me some useful tips. Let me have a look at their monitor or their workflow and things like that. And that's when I got really inclined towards starting, or being a music producer. Then I took the risk of getting into it. I cut short the guitar playing thing, and then I started getting deep into the production side of it.
Okay.
Slowly I started how to program the drums, how to program keys, how to program synth bass, and then how to blend all these things to get together. I mean, doing the covers had helped me a lot, because that was my own opportunity. Nobody knew I was a music producer. Nobody knew I was I could record stuff. So I was doing a lot of these covers, where I had an opportunity to record my stuff, layer them over, add multiple things to them, and try to make them sound better than the source. And then what I used to do was do this, do some cover or do something or play some random thing, and then polish it, send it to friends of mine who are better than me. I always used to take an advice from them. I always believe this thing, in this particular principle. I don't know if it applies only to music, but I think it applies to everything in general. Whether you are in music or any field, you may be a musician, you may be something else, some professional. You're trying to pursue something professionally. You should always pair up, or you should always try to make friends with people who are better than you.
Yeah.
Who are better than you, maybe like by 10 folds, 20 folds, or who are definitely better than
Only
you.
then they can check you and you know where you are. If you keep playing with somebody who's amateur, you think you're the best always.
Absolutely. I've had my experiences playing with people who are of my same level, or maybe people who are not as good as I was. You end up spending a lot of time teaching them, or getting into conflicts with them. So I think the professional aspect of being a musician, right? That's
I
completely lost.
understand.
Yeah.
I understand when you say, while you're doing, you think you're doing somebody a service.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. But at the same time, you're doing yourself a disservice because you're trying to make them understand something, but they are behind something that's fast.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
They want to do it fast.
Fast.
But you're trying to teach them the way you learned it, the right way, the fundamentals,
Absolutely.
why you're doing something a certain way. But they are into the shortcut of that.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
I think this applies to all the fields. I mean, professional levels, because you really want to shine at something. I think you should always choose to be a part of the team where the team members are way better than you. You will learn a lot of things from them. You will learn how to be obedient. You will actually know where you are standing when you work with somebody who is better than you.
True.
When you work with people who are not at your level, I mean, no, I don't mean to say that the people who are not at your level are not
supposed to
good, but
collaborate.
probably they need time to move up to the next level. So you should. The tricky thing is, the most trickiest thing is that it is really difficult for somebody who is at that stage to identify who is better than you, or who is or who is below that level.
Okay.
That's where you are vulnerable, and you'll fall into that rabbit hole, and then you'll choose to work with the wrong people, and end up wasting a lot of time, money, and resources. Again, there's no shortcut. There's no one size fits all kind of thing for this. I think everyone should go through this phase at some point in their life. They fall, they get up, they understand, and then they choose to team up with the right people. Teaming up with the right people is it's one of the most important things in your professional journey, is what I believe. So I think teaming up with the right people, I was able to pick up things very fast. And then I started doing my own production. Then I used to send it to my friends who are good and better than me. And there were a couple of my friends who used to listen to the stuff that I create, and they were very critical enough, and I think I should really thank them for what they have done. They were very critical about what I was doing. If I sent them some stuff, they used to listen to the stuff patiently, and then they were kind enough to share the feedback with me over a call, stating that, bro, I think this should have been done this way. You
Okay.
should be mixing the drums like this. Your kick is kind of lost in the mix.
Okay.
These are the frequencies where you should take into consideration. You should be recording it at the source this way. So this sort of I think very in-depth feedback, right? I don't think people have time these days to give that feedback unless you go and pay them a lot of money and join some place where they teach you this stuff.
Yeah.
But I think I was lucky. I consider myself to be lucky enough to have a few good friends from the industry, and I wish them the best. I think those guys have played a very very important role in shaping up my musical journey, or maybe helping me understand how to have a good ear. It's not the plugins all the time. You need to have a good ear to listen to whether. I mean, it's like whether this track needs compression or whether a track needs EQ or whether it doesn't even require it in the first place. It's your ear that has to make a decision.
Yeah.
You don't go by the principles that are taught to you in the school. Sometimes you might receive a beautiful track, or maybe you have recorded it in such a way that it doesn't require anything at all in the first place.
True.
Except for maybe like a small low pass filter,
Yeah.
or a high pass filter to make it sound even more fitted in the mix. But today, it's like the rule of thumb is you gotta boost the mids, or you gotta do some what is that surgical cuts,
EQ.
surgical EQ, or whatever EQ it is, right? So I think
Yeah.
before doing all that, you should analyze the material that you have at your hand first, and then listen to it and see what it requires and what it does not require. I think this is what my friends actually, I mean, the guys who are in the industry, right? They actually taught me. This is a basic principle. So I think that's how I became a music programmer or a producer, or you name it. I don't know. I mean, how to name it, but yeah, I got used to recording this stuff and all. And then I think the same thing has also given me an idea or laid the foundation to mixing my stuff.
Yes.
Because these days most of the people can't afford to get their music mixed. Back in the day, it had been a constraint for many people, because your track is not considered to be a professional track if you don't get it mixed and mastered by
Somebody in the industry.
somebody in
Yeah.
the industry, or maybe you have to pay some hefty amount to get it polished. But I think we should thank the technology for the evolution of the technology, the digital technology. Everything is made possible inside the box,
Yeah.
thanks to softwares like Nuendo, Cubase, now Logic Pro, Ableton,
Yes.
Pro Tools, whatnot. We have everything, you name it, and
Yes.
we have it. So it's all possible with today's technology, right? So I think that's one thing that had played another prominent role in my musical journey. So having access to all these things, and having a networking with the right people at the right time, and a little bit of a hard work, right? So that's what helped me to materialize whatever my practical knowledge, or whatever knowledge. I mean, my the theoretical knowledge into into more practical form. So I don't think you will find many people who would be able to sit and give you that detailed, in-depth feedback today, unless you go and pay them some hefty fee.
Yeah.
I mean, these are all invaluable things. You really can't tag a price to these things. There are certain things which I don't want to disclose, but no, it's no one's job to tell you the secrets of the industry. You need to do this to make your vocal stand out, or you need to do this to make your mix sound cohesive. These are the things that these are the things that I learned while I was working with the people in real time. So I think all these things have given me an understanding, a sense of understanding that, okay, I started off as an instrument player. Then I slowly progressed to be, a composer, or I don't call myself a composer. Maybe like like a recording technician or something. Understand the ins and outs of the digital recording things, and then after doing all these things, and once I was confident with all these things, then I started producing my own music. So I started producing my own stuff because of working with the people again, the practical experience and listening to a lot of music. I used to listen to a lot of Telugu music, Tamil music, Hindi music, world music, rock, pop, metal. I think almost all the genres. These things they have helped me a lot when it came to composition, because you can't be a good composer only if you're only listening to metal music all the time. You may be a good metal player, you may be a good metal guitarist, you can be a good metal composer, but you can't compose a folk song if you don't have an idea of what is a 6/8 folk rhythm. How do you actually compose using a 6/8 rhythm? What are the other elements you need to add to it? So these are the things that played a very important role in my whatever the composing journey. Luckily, again, I should thank a few of my friends who used to work a lot on this kind of stuff. Lot of pop, lot of film stuff, lot of Bollywood kind of stuff, lot of Tollywood kind of stuff. And I know I was lucky enough to be there and go and record things for them. So I was getting, every time I went there to record a guitar or something there, I was also learning something from the way they were recording and composing. What are their composition techniques, how do they do these things? So I think that was of an immense value, that added an immense value to my compositional part of thing. I mean, I don't consider myself as a big composer, or I would not compare myself to anyone. I mean, it's basically like from knowing nothing, now I'm able to compose tracks, 120 tracks, 150 tracks, sometimes make a song using 60 tracks.
Once upon a time it was an idea, now it's a product.
Now the idea has become, or has turned into reality. So having been a composer, I have worked on wide varieties of music. I composed EDM tracks for clients who are outside India. Then I composed Bollywood styled, vintage Bollywood style tracks. Then I've done total kuttu kind of music, Tamil 6/8
Yes.
proper folk, and I think we'll be discussing about one of the songs that we are working on, which is also fully folk song. So I think I was very happy when I compared myself being a guitarist, and then looking at myself being evolving into a composer. Because when I was a guitarist, it was only one thing I was good at, playing the guitar. But when I became a composer, I may not be good at all these things, but now
It's going to give you an idea of all those things.
exactly, like jack of all trades but master of none. But still, now I look at myself as a person who is capable of laying down the bass tracks, laying down the guitar tracks, creating my own rhythms, putting the keyboard parts, composing vocals, recording stuff, mixing it, and then getting it mastered, and then release a full-fledged product, which used to be a dream for me back in the day. If I had to listen to something, a finished record, I had to listen to it on the tape. I was fascinated by the way it was produced. It was master polished. How could someone do it at this level? For God's sake, I should know how to do this, and because I want to do this stuff on my own, and I want to deliver this product by myself. This used to be my goal at one point in time, but I think it came true. I should thank my friends and thank God, the people who traveled with me in this journey.
Yeah. Since you said that, most of the time, like there's this quote that says, "The life that you're having today was once upon your dream."
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not talking about everything else. Let's talk only about music, right? So once we, like you said, we would have thought that, okay, fine, maybe just let me get a keyboard, a MIDI keyboard. I'm going to kill this. Let me get a plugin. I'm going to polish this. Let me get a room. That's going to become my studio. Let me get this. The truth is, now we have all that, right? Two questions from here. When we have all this, one is the hunger. Do we have the same hunger when you have it? Or is it so different you cannot equate the hunger when you had it before and now? When you have everything, it's a different thing. It's a different game. You're not still thinking of getting a keyboard or still thinking of getting a guitar or still thinking of getting a chord or an amplifier or something. Now the whole idea is you can make the song. Now the idea is the goal is the next thing to make it reach. Did it reach? The idea is no more like this. But why I'm trying to say all these things is, do we look back and say, yeah, I have succeeded? Or our success, we think success is something, getting the big reward for something. Like, because if we don't, I think if we don't set certain goals, right, you will never even know you have achieved. Like now you said, once upon a time it was a dream. Now it's a reality. That's a big thing. It doesn't have to be the one you see on TV. It doesn't have to be the one you see with the numbers or the money.
True.
But the fact that once upon a time it was only a dream and now is real is a big deal. Most of us, I feel like most of us, musicians, artists, they keep going and going and going. They have done quite a lot of things, but they don't know that once upon a time it was a dream, now it's reality. I'm not telling sit, celebrate. I'm telling acknowledge the fact that that happened. So you know progress. So yeah, it's not that something didn't happen. I'm still trying to do something. No, all these things are done. This is the next thing that you're running behind. But mostly it seems like it hasn't happened. You're still not, started something 20 years back. Still it's not gone. No. That way you'll never know if you succeeded or not. It has to be these things when you look back and say, especially when you mention, only then I realize, and then so many artists should realize, okay, fine, that was the goal, done. Next, that's the goal, done. What is the vision? The long term, the short term. I think only then artists will have a proper mental health.
Yeah, actually, this is a very valid thing, which most of us do not realize it. We do not realize is. I think this happens all of the sudden. This sort of a realization, but I think it's very important for people to look at the things or the way you define success. Right? I think it's very valid. Let me talk about this. No, I mean, again, if I'm taking myself as an example, from the time I started I picked up my instrument, then I went through all these phases, right? Not knowing anything, then just a beginner, a novice, an intermediate player, then advanced player, playing for sessions, recording, composing, and all these things. So I think you cannot, or rather, I would say, I did not plan how it was going to be. It all started just with the passion of playing for the instrument. I had the passion for this instrument, so I picked it up and then I started playing, and I never planned anything in my journey. Okay, I never even knew that there was something called as being a session guitarist, or I never even knew that there's something called as a DAW, digital audio workstation. It's just like I my never-ending passion for the instrument is what kept me moving all the time. I was just traversing my path through these phases. I mean, my journey was continually going. There were some breaks here and then, but still, I was traveling in the same pathway. Over the years, I had touched all the aspects of the music, that is playing guitar, then recording, then making my own stuff, and then being a composer, now mixing and mastering my own stuff, which I never even envisioned that I was gonna do. I mean, like a few minutes ago, I told you it's my dream. Yeah, it was my dream when I started recording. Then it was my dream to record and release my own stuff. I want to record a polished album, and I want to release it so that it's going to be like a dream come true for me.
Yeah.
But I never measured my success by that.
Okay.
It was not I never measured my success on a commercial level.
Yeah.
For me, success was from zero to somewhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Progress.
In that process, I learned.
Yeah.
I delivered. Then I created. I earned money. I delivered, and I'm learning, and again I'm advancing.
This is one thing, especially the last thing you said. I mean, everything is quite important, and it's not a place.
Yes.
It's a journey.
Journey, yeah.
Like we said, right? It's not that, oh, this is done, success, finish. No, it's only getting started. You have to do the same thing every day.
Exactly.
You have to get the client. You have to get the project. You have to go through whether he likes it or not, whatever he says, though he has no idea of music. You have to listen to his details, the fact that he's saying something when he don't know. You have to listen to it. He's the one who's producing it. He's the one who's paying, just like some boss. So they will say certain things because it's easy here, right? only to translate that it takes us 10, 20, 25 years to translate the idea into what you feel like music and then
Exactly.
produce it or give it in such a way that somebody is asking. It takes time to do that. Time to do music is different. Time to
Different.
do what somebody is asking of us, or some, at least to create the equilibrium between what somebody is asking and what we want to
We deliver.
artistically give.
Yes, yes.
That's the thing, yeah. Because you set out not to do certain things like office or something. This is what it is. I want this. Get it done. Done. No, you are doing this. Most of us are doing this because we want to do this. Creative expression
Exactly.
versus commercially what is expected from us, versus what the producer wants from us, versus what the project wants, versus what somebody wants to hear, or versus what the algorithm wants.
Yeah, that's pretty, tough.
So when you said it's continuous and you have to do the same thing again, that's what. It's not like you have done it fine. No. So many one-hit wonders.
Right, yeah.
The name says everything. One-hit wonder. Second song. Where's the second song? So consistency, definitely something is going to break out. Even if something breaks out, next song has to hit the same thing. Everything has to be the same thing. At least from our side, when you give it, you don't know how people are going to respond to it.
Right.
But the effort that is needed to give the same track, the same kind of energy, or the same kind of input. If
Correct.
the 100% is given, yes, 100. Same 100 has to be given every place. How they receive it is up to them.
Right.
After that, rest is up to God. After that, nobody knows what is happening after that. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's, I mean, in a way, would say, unfortunately, we've all been, what do you call it, trained in such a way, right from the schools. You study, then, you got to get good marks in your 10th standard. Then the marks that you get in your 10th standard will determine your future.
Yeah.
So that's the way, or the marks that you get in your 10th standard will determine your future, the job that you get. So you got to be success. If you are considered as a successful person in your life, only if you get good marks in your school, get a good paying job, and then you build a house for yourself, you have a car or maybe a couple of cars, and then you save up some property and leave them for your children, and then you die, you're called a successful man or a woman. That's the way we've been programmed right from our childhood, right from the time of knowing what's happening around us. So the same thing is attributed to the industries that we work in or that we are associated with.
Okay.
No doubt. Today, most of the people, many upcoming musicians or composers, they think, you ask them what is success for you, they say that if I make music for a film, then I'm successful.
Yeah, but they don't know the film will. When is the movie going to come out?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So music is not about making music only for a film.
We have to define what is success.
If
to
you
us.
are if you are a musician, you have certain time for you, right? Do whatever you can. Do it in, you do mistakes in one phase. Then when you move to the next phase, you learn from your mistakes, move to the next phase, learn from your mistakes. Then you will know what's the right pathway. Go ahead and do what you are capable of doing it. You don't define success by whether you are going to be a film musician. Today people say Anirudh is a successful musician. Good. I really appreciate him, and I like his music a lot. But not everybody can reach the level of Anirudh, or not everyone can reach the level of A.R. Rahman, or can become another Ilayaraja. People have to do perform to their abilities and deliver what is the best they can. And then if they're able to sustain that in the long term, you do it for 5 years and then you leave it, you're not a musician. You're doing it successfully for the 15th year. Success might not be financially. You may not be successful financially in your 15th year, but still you are doing it and you're struggling for success. Then you are called, you're a dedicated musician or an honest musician.
Yes.
You don't have to be labeled by somebody. Oh, okay. How many films have you done?
Or how much do you get from the music that you do?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You have to look at it from the commercial standpoint as well. But still, what I'm trying to say is that you don't have to define yourselves, or maybe by the stereotypes.
True.
Is what today most of the people are trying to forcefully define themselves using the stereotypes. That's what I actually don't like. But again, it's individual perception of what success means to everybody. It may mean something to you, it may mean
Different.
something different to me. But I think for me, if you're having a family,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, you have a good wife, you have beautiful children, you have been with them for so many years, you have seen your children growing up, you've seen your wife going through the transformational phase with you. They have been traveling with you for these many years. You had like a 20 years of married life or 25 years of married life. You have to be happy that that you have traveled a long way. You have seen so many changes, and you have had the same people with you, and these are the people who are with you and who are supporting you throughout. So that is success for you. It's not like, okay, what did I buy for them, or what did they give me, right?
True.
Or how much money did I make for them.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's a materialistic way of looking at success.
I just want to add something to this when you said, with given all these things, when you especially said family, transformational phase, when they get to accept the fact that you're a musician, this is what is happening, all grow together in this journey, right? The fact that you are able to do music is the success. Still,
Yeah.
the fact that you're able to do the music is itself is an opportunity. More right word is opportunity for success again.
Right.
Okay. So that's what success is different to different people. So,
Absolutely.
like you said, like that's what we talked about a little while ago. And it's a continuous thing. It's not a destination, it's a journey.
My goal,
Perfect.
my goal at one point in time was to be a good guitar player, but I think
That
I
doesn't work.
was able to do better than that, better than being a guitar player.
Yeah, to
Move
become
the
a vocalist, to become a
Yeah.
composer, to become now the founder of the band TSOS.
Exactly.
So it just kept going up.
Absolutely, yeah. There will be a lot of ups and downs. Definitely, I mean, when you're in any field, you will have to see the ups and downs. You need to experience them. You need to experience the pitfalls, everything. I mean, nothing is going to be easy unless, you're son of a millionaire or maybe a record company owner. But still, even in that
Even
case,
that case, the stakes are so high. People are expecting something of you. They want to be like your dad or mom, whoever is the parent, right? Or the celebrity. It's too much because of a certain scenario.
Exactly.
They will have to adapt to. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it's a huge factor that comes into play because they are expected something. They are expected to be someone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Rather than taking their own opportunity and time to do something.
Creative side of it is, totally lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're exclusively selling yourself to someone,
Yes.
you'll hardly get an opportunity to implement the creative aspect from your side. So that's a different story altogether. But I think, in my opinion, I consider myself to be a successful musician. I might not be popular outside Tamil Nadu, or to that matter, for that matter, most of the people, they don't know it. But for me, my personal goals, I have achieved my personal goals of being a guitarist, moving to the next level, next level. Certain things that were unexpected, unanticipated. Now I have released 5 of my own songs.
Yeah.
You know,
You're saying you're not popular out of Tamil Nadu, but the last 2 songs, I don't know, you guys should hear these songs. One is called Samanile Velicham. I mean, there are songs even before that, but the ones on Wing, Samanile Velicham, Tholvi Kondavarnam, Sadal, some of these songs have hit 1 or 2 lakh streams on Wing.
Tholvi Kondavarnam is at 6.7 lakh
Six.
plays, 6 lakh plays. And
I said 2, it's 6, 3 times. Okay, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So these things were unanticipated or unexpected from my side. My pure intention was to make to start this band, the Tamil rock band, and then release a few songs. That was my thought. So I was working hard to make that happen. I did not focus on how the result is going to be or how many plays it's going to hit. I didn't even know who was willing to take up my song. I didn't even know how to release my song while I was working on my first song, independent song. That was my level, or that was my state of mind. But I worked really hard to get that first song on board, and then slowly I put in some effort and got in touch with few people. Then I was able to understand how the distribution platform works. Then we made a music video. Music video was like beyond expected. I never even thought that I was going to make a music video, because for me, making a song all by myself, and then getting it mastered and releasing itself is a big thing for me. If I My mindset was like, yeah, if I'm going to release this song, I'm successful. My midterm goal has been met. So
Okay.
I'm successful. That was my mindset. So I released the song. Then beyond releasing it, I was also able to make a music video with good artists. Then it was like a surprise for me, like a bonus for me. Made a music video. Then that thing gave me the confidence. Okay, now you are also moving from the level of making song to the level of making a music video,
Yeah.
right? So that means, yeah, so this is what I learned additionally. Now I have pushed myself forward. I'm pushing my boundaries forward. Now
Yes.
I'm not only a composer and a song maker, but I'm also making videos for my music. So
Yeah.
that is like a whole package coming true for me.
Yes.
Never even imagined this, that I would be doing this in my life. It may be a silly thing for somebody. It may seem to be a huge task for someone, but trust me, because I've traveled in that path for quite a long time, understood and learned the aspects of it, seen the ups and downs of it, I was able to release it. So it's a dream come for me. So in a nutshell, a teenager who used to watch pop songs or some rock or metal songs back in the 90s on MTV and V channel and some thing these channels, satellite TVs, just imagining that will I ever be able to make a song like this? Will I ever be able to play guitar like this? Will I ever be able to make some song in my favorite genre?
Yeah.
These were my thoughts. Just thoughts, wildest dreams to even think of making them happen, come to reality.
Okay.
Can I even do this? Would it be possible for me? But I think the last 25 years of my journey made me do something more than that. So that means I'm a successful musician. I don't have to win something, or I don't have to sell my, sell be a platinum seller or receive some.
Yes.
For me, yes, absolutely, the growth has been tremendous.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm telling. So for me, I define success in that way. I don't define success by other things. Success is whether you have moved significantly higher than your current level,
Yeah.
or from the point where you started. How far have you reached in your journey?
Yes.
I have not reached until there. Okay, good. See, what is the reason for you to be there? Then probably you might want to make a few changes and then go forward.
Yes.
But the point is, if you stop trying and if you sit there, then you will never be achieving anything.
Yes.
Achievement is, again, for me, it's a huge achievement for me. My family members were surprised. This guy learned guitar on his own without the help of anyone. We didn't know what this guy was doing. We didn't know what this guy was up to. He quit his job. He's doing something. We don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
But now, when they see me in the videos, or when they see my songs, or at least when they see that, okay, this guy is capable of doing this, so they know, okay, this guy has transformed himself over the last these many years into this. So people understand, okay, success is not easy. It is a long, painstaking process, but you got to be through it. You got to love what you're doing.
Yes.
Then I think you will be able to deliver what you want.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Perfect. 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 So that was the journey. Now let's go for the question, guys. Yeah. So the first question is, I wanted to ask you some tips for the young artists who are coming in, or the people who are learning guitar, right? Some tips for the guitarist. But now I think the better question would be tips for musicians on the whole, because I know guitar is your favorite instrument, right? But I think it'll be even more cooler or better for the audience who are listening and watching if you can tell me anything, whether it's a musician, whether it's a guitarist or some other instrument player, or it's somebody who's trying a dog. Okay, for anybody who's trying to take on a music journey, a few things that you would tell them so they can skip certain things, not like slide through certain things. Like, imagine, what would you tell yourself? The better question would be, what would you tell yourself if you were taken back 25, 30 years back, and you have the knowledge of all these things that happen?
Right. Yeah.
What are the tips that you will give yourself as a young musician? That's the question.
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think it's a bit tricky to answer, but I think the answer lies in your question itself. Going back, that's prompting me to give my answer. Going back, if I had a chance to go back and change something, see, basically, what I would advise coming to the instrument, we'll take it
Yeah.
segment wise. It's not only guitar. I mean, be it a guitar, bass, your violin, or anything that you're learning. First thing is you need to be honest to yourself.
Okay.
First of all, understand, or you need to. Not everyone will know why they are picking up the instrument. For me, in my case, it was just purely fascination, the way how it sounded, and then I built a strong passion for it. So I think that's very, very important. If you're passionate about your instrument, people who are not passionate about their instrument, I mean, they'll end up quitting anyways. That's not the point here. But if someone is really serious and trying to take that up as a career, or make that their second or their integral part of their lives, you gotta be honest when you are when you pick up an instrument. And the second thing is you need to get yourself a good mentor.
Okay.
I was not lucky enough to have a good mentor when I was playing, instrument, because I'm a self-taught guy. You can definitely look at a lot of tutorials that are available on YouTube, but today there's again a lot of informational garbage.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the word, but there's a lot of informational garbage that is there on YouTube. So it's definitely misleading. If a newcomer goes there to see, it is definitely going to mislead them, and they're going to end up nowhere. Probably, end up leaving or quitting playing the instrument. I would strongly recommend to pay for a good teacher. You need to find a very good teacher. Again, there are a lot of fraudulent teachers out there who are just going to take money from you, just going to drag on your progress. You should not spend a lot of time in your institutes, your music institutes, like months together, years together. Have a goal. You want to learn music? Yeah. In the first 6 months, I need to be honest to myself. I need to dedicate 3 to 4 hours a day to practice my instrument. After all, that's the reason why I picked it up in the first place. If I'm not able to dedicate at least 1 hour to my practice, why on earth am I even picking this up in the first place?
Yeah.
If you want to be a serious musician, you just want to pick it up for a hobby, well and good. It's not gonna come into the picture itself. So get yourself a good mentor, have a practice routine, practice, start. Now you have an opportunity to perform and post your content online. We didn't have anything back in the day. It was once every 2 months or 3 months, some cultural opportunity programs used to come up.
Mostly family functions.
No, I'm talking about my college, like inter-college, intra-college.
Even before those, the only cultural events were even when the college events were not there, right? Yeah, college events are there for a while, but most of the time when you're okay to perform is almost like something that's like 5-6 people, some house is saying. Then goes the college. Yeah, that's the bigger stage.
Absolutely. So I'll tell you guys, I mean, when we had an opportunity to perform for a corporate, I didn't even know that it was called a corporate gig until so many years after we played it. It was like 3 of us. I think it was in 2001 or 2. We were a very small corporate company, a 2-storied building. They had their office in a 2-storied building. They called us for to play some stuff before some, they had some inaugural stuff. So all we were offered was like, a cup of, some sweet, and then a glass of water. And then we had to spend nearly some 30 to 40 minutes to get the sound thing going, because the sound guy did not know, how to set up things. And then we ended up playing like 2 songs, and then that was the end of the gig. So and we were longing to perform, but we didn't have opportunities back in the day.
Yeah.
But now, you have everything. You have YouTube, you have Instagram, Facebook. So get yourself maybe some good recording equipment, a decent camera, phone or something. Get yourself some a basic setup. Perform, record, and then post it. Or then evaluate your performance. That's very important. So these are the shortcuts I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If I had an opportunity to record my stuff and post it online back in the day, probably I would have been even more a better musician today.
True.
To evaluate my performance. And then, to have my mentor or a guide to evaluate my playing and teaching me the right stuff. So always have the right mentor, choose the right mentor, keep playing, keep practicing, record your stuff, post it online, show it to your friends. These are the 3 things that I would suggest if you are on your, if you're going to start off your musical journey. Let the instrument be anything.
Yeah.
But if you are taking music as a holistic element, right?
Yes.
More than playing an instrument, more than playing one instrument. You want to be a musician, you want to be a composer. I think It is a pretty lengthy process, guys. There is no shortcut to being a musician because trust me, your musical abilities will expand only if you listen to music. You don't listen to music, your musical abilities won't expand. Even though you are a master of playing a particular instrument, even though you are good at mixing and mastering, you can never be good at mixing and mastering if you don't listen to a lot of music. That's you can take my word for it. One can never be a good mix and master engineer unless they've heard tons and tons of good music.
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
you get a classical song, devotional song. If you have never even listened to something like that, how would you even mix and master that?
True, true.
Right? So that's a long term process, guys. You want to be in the music field in your long term, then you have to make it a practice to listen to multiple genres. Multiple genres. You need to again have a good guide to have the basic understanding about the fundamentals in the music. You should know what are common time signatures, what are the odd time signatures, how do you program music using MIDI keyboard. All these things. Today there are a lot of institutes that are offering both online and offline teaching or coaching to become music producers, mixing and mastering engineers. But I think you should be very careful about such things. Again, it becomes very hard for the beginners to identify the right people from the wrong ones.
Which is authentic and not.
Yeah, you got to be extremely careful here because this is very expensive, and you end up. I've seen people coming to me saying that, sir, I paid like 1 lakh, 2 lakhs to this particular institute, but they have not taught me anything. And that guy doesn't even know what a compressor means or doesn't even know how to even create a new session in the DAW. So you have to be very careful. Choose your mentors or your guides. Have a basic understanding, and then have the mindset that you have. Your mindset should not be very fixed. It's like, okay, I'm going to do only this music, or I'm going to create only beats. No, you want to be a musician. You want to be a composer. You have to be open to all the genres.
Yes.
You need to listen not only to the film music, but you have to listen to other composers as well. Listen to rock. Listen to the pop hits on the Billboard. Listen to the top 20 on Spotify. Listen to regional top 20. Listen to regional top 20 in the global top 20. You have to have exposure to every goddamn genre, because you never know. You might be asked to work on a Latin project.
Yeah.
So one time I was asked to work on a vintage Bollywood style project
Okay.
because I was listening to vintage stuff by Bapi Lahari,
Okay.
right? And then Anand Milind, then the 90s, Anu Malik, all this stuff. It was an easy task for me.
So when somebody asked you, you got an exact reference point of how it can
Absolutely,
be.
yeah. So that I'm saying, being an instrument player versus being a musician is totally different. You want to be a musician and a composer and whatever at the next level. You have to have an idea of how the music sounded in the past, how it is sounding now. If you don't have an idea of how the music sounded in the past,
How will you make something of the past?
so that's what I'm saying. The coaching institutes now, they're cutting short everything. The students have no idea of the fundamentals. It's not enough if you teach someone what is sound, how the sound waves travel,
Okay.
or all the time templates, low pass, high pass. This is not enough, in my opinion. If you want to, what more can they teach in an institute? This is what they teach, but you have to listen to music.
Okay.
You have to, because you are the one who's going to make the creative choices, or make a decision or not make a decision. To use this or not use this. So you got to be in that position, and you need to have that knowledge of listening to music. People say Ilayaraja. Even it is 2024, and people still delve into Ilayaraja's music. Why do you think they do it? Because Ilayaraja's music was so futuristic.
Yeah.
Back in the day, he had used bass guitar. He had put the bass guitar to use to a point where people are not even using it at that level today, except for a few, like maybe A.R. Rahman is doing justice to the bass guitar. But I don't think many composers are using it today.
True.
But Ilayaraja had used it, done and dusted it back in the day, like some 15, 20 years ago.
True.
So I'm not being partial to any music composer or anything like that. I'm saying you should have knowledge of how the music sounded in the past.
Yes.
At least go back 10 years. If you're 15 years old or 16 years old and trying to start off your musical journey, at least go back to the 90s and listen to some stuff every day. See how the music sounded. You might not be using a similar sort of instrumentation, but at least you will have a compositional idea of how the hook works, or how repetition plays a major role in terms of making a song hit or a flop. You understand? So that's the thing I would suggest, or I'd rather recommend if somebody is on their journey to being a musician. You gotta
Perfect.
have. You need to use having knowledge and then making use of the technology that's at your disposal. Today's technology is bro. Trust me, I think we are at the best uh, phase of our life. That is, when we're talking about technology, the technology that we have right now, exclude AI, but even if you use AI for the right purposes, I think you can really create something. If you think, okay, something is on my mind, and you earlier it used to take years and decades to bring it
put
out,
it on.
but now you get a thought last night, you can make it come true maybe within a span of 2 to 3 days, or max to max in a week. So that's the level of advancement that technology had, technologies at right now. So I think we should make use of we should combine the technology and your knowledge, learning in the right way, and then you will see the results. Some, sorry to extend, but some schools, they only tell you shortcuts like, drag the loops, make a beat, your beat is ready. You don't even have to know how to program the individual kicks and then snares or the clap. You just drag the beat, there's a beat ready for you. You just drag the keyboard, there's a keys ready for you. I don't believe in that sort of music education.
Understood.
You have to know how to do everything from the scratch. If you learn how to do everything from the scratch, then you will be able to work with ready-made material. But if you only work with ready-made material, you will never be able to overcome a situation where you are being asked to start from the scratch.
Yes.
You can't record a live instrument.
Yeah.
You won't be able to record vocals properly. You won't be able to mix master properly. So have some basic fundamental, or whatever, fundamental knowledge of what you're doing. Get the right mentors, use the technology, and then it'll take you there.
Bro, the next session that we have is called The GOATs, the greatest of all time.
Sure.
Your GOAT composer.
Yeah, Rahman.
Perfect. Your GOAT guitarist.
Rex Vijayan from the band Avial,
Yeah.
a Malayalam rock band Avial.
Yes.
Yeah, he's been an amazing guitarist, bro. So, I like him a lot. He has scored music for so many Malayalam films too.
Okay.
It's definitely one of the greatest guitarists, at least my personal choice. Yeah.
Perfect. Your GOAT sound engineer.
It's definitely Shadab Ryan. Shadab Ryan, the Bollywood mix engineer. Not only Bollywood, I think he's been mixing a lot of Telugu and other regional language songs too. I think he's crystal clear mixes. That's all I can say. Very punchy, very wide. I think the best mix engineer to my knowledge.
Your GOAT band.
My GOAT band would always be Metallica.
Okay.
I've been a fan of them for several years now. I think they're one of the early bands that influenced my guitar playing. I've listened to almost all their older albums. The reason why I consider them to be a greatest band is because the band has gone through so many changes. But I think they have been a successful group for 40 years now, which is definitely something worth mentioning. I've read a lot of articles about them, and I still read a lot. Try to dig every opportunity that I get to know something about the band. These guys have been really great. I mean, one need not be technically a crazy musician. I mean, people say that Lars Ulrich of Metallica is not definitely not the best drummer out there. It may be true. I don't care. I mean, all I care about is
the whole package.
the whole thing. Yeah. I mean,
The band.
he has been instrumental in making the band sound so rock solid. That's why I think they are still one of the best bands in the world out there. James Hetfield, undeniably one of the best metal rhythm guitarists, and then Kirk Hammett, one of the best solo guitar players. Then Rob Trujillo, the former bassman, Jason Newsted, and the previous to Jason Newsted, it was Cliff Burton,
Oh.
who sadly passed away. So I think all these people have done their job, they've done their part to make the band, what it is today.
Okay.
So I don't give, I don't care if someone says that, the drummer is not technically not a good drummer, or maybe he's technically not a good guitar player. All it takes to make a band or break a band is the cohesiveness, or, the how much they bond with each other, how much they are true to themselves, and, how much they give in to deliver what they are striving for. So I think that Metallica has all these qualities. It's not because they're some US band. It's cool for me to say that Metallica is my
Okay.
favorite. I've been following these guys for the last 25 years or so.
Yeah.
So I know almost in and out of what these guys are doing as a music group. I personally love them a lot.
Perfect. Next question is, how do you overcome a writer's block?
Bro, that's tough, but again, manageable part of a musician's life. Sometimes, everyone goes through a writer's block. I've been through that, situation many a times. But I think, what is important when somebody is going through that creator's block or writer's block is just to stay calm, not don't overdo. For example, there were days like, I want to write a new song. I just turn on my computer, switch on my computer, open up the DAW session, then connect my guitars, try out some new tones, and then try for some new ideas. End up spending 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, eventually not being able to put up something that's really good, or maybe something that's not catching my attention. I think it's better to let it go, give it some time, rather than overdoing it, or rather than thinking a lot or crying over it. Give it some time, maybe take a day off, or take a break, do something else, come back. If it still doesn't work, it's okay, give it another day, or
Then
maybe
totally do something else.
yeah, do something else. And if it's not working, then do something, maybe come back to it after a week or so.
Yeah.
That has actually worked for me, and that in fact, what's that,
I can
helps you.
definitely vouch for that too. Just
Yeah.
go away, do something, come back. You see it totally different. The way you see it, no, it's going to be totally different.
Absolutely. Unless you're doing it for some, commercial project with some very tight deadlines and all, that's a different story. But even then, I'd prefer taking a break, because I did work on some commercial projects with some tight deadlines. All you have to do is, stop worrying too much, take a break, maybe an hour or two,
Yeah.
and then come back, tune your mind to that. Definitely when you take a break, what happens is your mind tends to relax, and then again, start working well. I think that's the most important thing when you are going through a writer's block or creator's block, or whatever it is. You want to pin down a good solo there, or you want to put some creative rhythm parts or some vocal parts. Take a break. Definitely good thoughts will come into your brain. Yeah.
Perfect. The next question is, when do you know if a song is done?
Again, that's a pretty tough question, because
You'll never know.
yeah. See, in a creative field, bro, I'll be very honest. There is no calibration done. I mean, it's like, for example, you say, this phone is going to stop working at a particular temperature.
Yeah.
Okay, or maybe this thing is going to freeze at a particular temperature.
Yes.
But for a creative mind, there is no end. There is no set point, or you cannot calibrate your mind or your thinking to such levels. You cannot calibrate them in such a way that, okay, I'm going to stop here, I'm going to add little more to this. It's definitely a tricky process, and it is also something that every creator or a musician should try to adjust and live with. But again, taking the if you don't try to overcome this mindset, what's going to happen is, the potential danger is that you're never going to finish a song.
Yeah.
You're not going to finish a song. And this happened with me many times, and I've seen later on I came to know that I'm not the only one, and there are millions of people who are going through this phase. You start the mixing process, it's going to take ages, but you're not going to finish the song, because all you want to do is, in every session or every day that you open your session, you think, okay, the reverb tail is too much, or you think the 10K high end is, it needs a little more boost, or maybe this low mid needs a little bit of cut, or maybe you need to add some instrument here, there. It's not going to finish.
Yeah.
So basically, if you want to overcome that, all you have to do is, you have to force yourself to finish the song. finish it. Maybe you're going to end up making a mistake, but you're going to learn from the mistake. But if you don't finish it, you're never going to have a finished product on your table. You're never going to get feedback, and you're never going to learn how to finish the product.
Very true. Very true. It keeps going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next session that we have is called Bust a Myth. I'm going to tell you a myth. You're going to, if it's yes, you're going to say why. If it's no, you're going to say why. Yeah. Yes or no, you're going to say why.
Yes.
I mean,
Why?
if it is yes, also why?
Why?
If it is
I
yes,
got you.
yeah.
Got you.
If it's no, then why? Okay. Analog is the best way to get it done.
Not anymore.
Okay.
It used to be back in those days, maybe like 20, 25 years ago.
Okay.
Because we didn't have digital technology, people were relying on analog. And
Yes.
the fact is that analog has a little bit of warmth to its tone.
Okay.
That characteristic to its tone. Only the tone purist would be able to relate to what I'm saying now, but not people who are into the digital domain, purely into the digital domain. Unless you have been unless you have heard songs that were produced on the analog devices or records, and you have been listening to the songs that are being produced using the digital technology today. If you have listened to both of these things, you would be able to identify the difference. If you are a tone purist, or maybe if you're too much into if you have a good ear, or maybe you're a sound guy. But basically, if you're just a listener, and if you've been listening to songs over the decade, you might not be able to make a huge difference other than the difference in the volume.
Yeah.
For an analog and
That's right.
digital recording. But personally, I'm not a very big fan of the digital distortion or the digital harshness that comes. But if one knows how to use the digital domain properly in the right way, I think digital is definitely the recommended choice now.
Yeah.
Though there is analog is quite expensive, and it's practically not possible for someone to go and produce a record and using analog devices now, and then sell it or make money. I think digital is everywhere, so it's just a matter of knowing how to use it in the right way. Yeah.
Perfect. To make music, you need to be born with talent. To be a musician, you need to have talent.
No, absolutely not. You don't have to be born with talent. In fact, nobody is born with talent. How can someone identify a newborn baby is is born with some talent?
Okay.
Not you, not me. No one can. We don't even know what the baby is capable of doing. It's
Yeah.
purely someone's passion. I mean, what they listen to, or what are their influences in their childhood, their transformational phase, or their formative years, or maybe if their family has a history of musicians being in there. Or for example, you take my family, there are no musicians in my family.
Okay.
So it's purely an individual's choice.
Mm.
And maybe the other things, for example, if my father was a musician, and
Yeah.
if my father happened to be a musician, and if my decision was to be a musician, or maybe if I grew up listening to his music or watching him do music or create music, probably that would have had some influence on
Yeah. Your
or
music. Yeah.
or me wanting to be a musician. But my father was not a musician. My relatives were not musicians. It was just that my friends had played a role in me being a musician today. So I think it's purely the circumstances or their personal choices are what makes them be who they are or who they want to be. I don't think a newborn is ever born with, born with some inbuilt talents or anything like that. That's a myth.
Fine. Music education is important.
It is important, definitely, but I don't think one needs to do a scholar level of music, to be successful anywhere. All you need is a basic level of understanding. It's important for you to understand what are the fundamentals of music, and if you want to take it to the higher level, I think it's definitely not going to harm if somebody is going forward and learning how to read music,
Oh.
the notations for any specific instrument or music theory in general. Because when you know music theory, or probably when you know how to read the notes, you're definitely going to have an additional advantage over the fellow musician who might not know how to read music.
Yes.
Probably if you're going abroad for a show, within a short notice, you're getting
Music piece.
somebody is giving you some notes. You're having just about 1 or 2 hours before the show. some touring musicians are coming and then they're sending you the notes, and you have just 2 hours to practice. Only if you are able to read the notes, you'll be able to, pull off the gig.
True.
You're making your money there, so you're not losing your money there. So I think the best way is to learn music, at least to a level where you can read music and understand the basic fundamentals of it. And that's why I always emphasize, or I always tell my daughter, that it is very important to learn, how to read music.
Perfect. Very true. There is no such thing as a full-time musician.
Well, I think the perception about a full-time musician definitely needs to change in today's world.
Okay.
If you look at the bigger composers, or maybe our favorite artists, for example, your favorite artist, I assume who could be Eminem,
Yeah.
Drake. All these guys are my favorite artists. Maybe like Metallica, Nirvana. All these guys were full-time musicians because music was something that they grew upon, and they Kurt Cobain died making music. So Metallica is still going strong. They're making music after 40 long years. So these guys can be called as full-time musicians because they had deals with record labels.
They dedicated their whole life.
Absolutely, they had deals with record labels.
Yeah.
And I'm asking you a question: do you think it's possible for me or you to be as famous as Dr. Dre or or Metallica or Nirvana maybe in the next 40 years or next 20 years? I don't think so. It's not because you're less talented than them, or you're not as talented as they are. The reason is purely because of the change in the way things are evolving in the music industry.
Yes.
Those days they had deals with the record labels. Everything for them was sponsored, but they had to go through a lot of hardships, and then they have reached the place where they are today, and they still remain to be who they are.
Yes.
And they are full-time musicians because they make a living out of music.
Yes.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
Probably they might be having some other investments.
Business.
Yeah. But these guys are full-time musicians. But now there is no term such called as full-time music or a full-time musician.
Yeah.
You cannot be a full-time musician in today's world. At least 90% of the people who are venturing into music, you gotta have something, or you gotta do your side job, hustle, then come do your music, and then you get your big break. Then probably you go, and then again you fail. Then you have to come back and do something. So it's like that. I don't think there is a full-time musician opportunity anywhere.
Good answer.
But
When did you? Okay, yeah, sure,
I'm sorry,
sure, please.
but there are definitely good number of musicians who are gigging full time. I mean, if you take the lockdown period, the COVID, so that was a tough time for the musicians, and many
No
musicians.
full-time musicians then.
Yeah. Musicians had to go through a lot of
Some transformation also.
absolutely. But I mean, in the sense, what I'm saying is you need not get into a new domain altogether. For example, let's assume I'm a guitarist and I got stuck during the lockdown phase. Probably if I had known how to produce music, I would have sat at home and I could have produced music.
Yeah.
That's what I did. So I think having more skills or expanding your knowledge in the music department itself is going to be an added advantage. So if you, for example, you're a musician, you know how to produce, you know how to mix master, or you know how to do something that's related to music, yeah, probably one door is closed, the other door is open for you. So in that way you can keep yourself occupied as a full-time musician.
Yes.
But I don't think it's like a full-time musician. It's not like a 9 to 5 job where you call yourself a full-time musician. You're a musician. Where there is an opportunity, you're going to be there.
Crazy thing is, even when you're doing music for 24 hours, you're not able to call yourself a full-time musician. But people who go for the 9 to 5, they have job titles.
Yeah, that's because they have a standard pay at the end of the month,
Yeah.
or maybe they get their paycheck at the end of every week. So no one except their employer, no one is concerned about what they're doing or what they're not doing, and they are doing it for their employer. They do and they get paid. But for a musician, that's a problem. We lack controls. We lack controlling mechanisms. An employee has his or her employer to set goals, to make them achieve the goals, and then they get paid at the end of the week. But for a musician, there is no employer, there is no CEO, nothing. You get up, you decide when to get up, you decide what you want to do, you decide how much you want to do, you decide how many hours you want to put in. So that's where sometimes the self control comes into play. And if you are not making the right decision of doing the right thing at the right time, then you're going to end up doing nothing. So being a musician is also similar to being an entrepreneur.
Yes.
You need to know what you have to do, what you want to do, how much you need to invest into it, what is going to be your return. So
Yeah.
I think that if you're good at it, then yeah, definitely you're going to be a full-time musician, like a businessman. Yeah.
Now, that's a very interesting question, especially for me, right? The biggest song now, the number one song is by Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us. Yeah.
Okay.
And the biggest album right now, the number one album, is by Kanye West, Vultures. So the biggest song is by a rapper. The biggest album now is by a rapper.
Rapper.
So, given the fact, yeah, you have collaborated with rappers, you have done your songs, most of them has featuring rap. So, what is your relationship with hip hop and rap?
Well, I think rap is a very old form, very old art form. I don't know if it had any musical connection, even for that matter, when it entered the music scene. But I think it's one of the best ways or best form of music or best way to express something. You understand? I think I hope you understand, right? So
Yeah.
I look at rap in that way. It's like it's the best way to express something. I mean, I'm not contradicting the fact that music in itself is an art. It's the
Yeah.
biggest art form where you can express
Express.
something. Sometimes without any vocals, you can express something through your instruments.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can simply express something by singing something. But I think rap is definitely a very strong way to express certain thoughts. Again, I don't want to add controversy to it, but I'm very much fascinated by bands like Rage Against the Machine.
Ah.
So these guys, they have used rap as a very powerful medium to reach to the oppressed people.
Yes.
You understand? So that's one of the reasons why I admire rap or rappers. I mean, it need not be Zach De La Roca of Rage Against the Machine. It can be anyone. I mean, I like Eminem, I like Dr. Drake, I like Snoop Dogg, I like almost all the biggest rappers, the '90s rappers. I've listened to a lot of these rap artists, and I've learned a lot from them. Though I'm not a rapper, but I think combining rock or heavy rock with rap is definitely going to be a very powerful medium to express your thoughts, to uplift the people. And that's why I chose to collaborate with you being a seasoned hip hop artist. I thought it's a good idea to reach out to you, and then I put my idea forward, and then that's how three of our songs have happened.
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. That's a good one. What are the things that independent musicians should be prepared for?
Well, independent musicians should be prepared for uncertainty. Then being bound by the decisions of your streaming partners or your record labels.
There is nothing independent about
Absolutely.
that.
The word independent in itself is, it has lost its relevance now.
Relevance,
It's
yeah.
not relevant anymore in the current situation. The reason why I'm saying this is because
Especially when you're saying that, let me interrupt there. When big labels are supporting independent artists, as in they have a thing for independent artists, they are no more an independent artist when labels are supporting.
absolutely.
Why do they have a new stream so that now independent artists also will be a part of their thing?
See, the fact is your digital streaming platform or your streaming partners or your record labels,
It's
they
content.
none of them work with the intention of making you big
Yeah.
for a charity.
Oh yeah, it's a
Right?
business. It's a
Yes,
business.
it's a business. So what is happening here is they are drawing millions or maybe hundreds of independent artists into their circle. They're drawing people inside. They have slowly started implementing creative boundaries.
Okay.
They are drawing creative boundaries. That means now you are an independent artist, but you are bound by creative decisions. So you cannot make a song with a 60-second intro. You cannot make a song with a 1 minute intro. or you cannot
Yeah,
make a song.
you need to learn what a skip rate is now.
Absolutely. Now, what these companies are telling you is, you want to make a song. Yeah, I'm acknowledging you as an independent artist. I'm giving you my label, and I'm making you now a labeled artist. But what you have to do for me in favor in return is, you need to create songs according to my choice. I'm telling you, your intro should be only for 10 seconds, and your vocals should come within the 15th second, right on 15th second. Then it should end after 8 bars, and then the next 8 bars are going to be your chorus, and then you should have a very small bridge. Then you come back to the repetition.
Yeah.
So,
So the creative freedom has gone basically.
now, how are you going to be an independent musician now? Probably my perception or understanding of the independent music scene might be totally different. But me coming from from the 90s music
Yeah.
thing, I understand it in a different way. The main thing is that a record label is giving you their label,
Yes.
supporting you, but they can't suppress you in terms of your creative freedom.
Yes.
But that's happening because people are being forced. I mean, musicians are being forced to create music that is satisfying the record labels, and record labels are in turn anticipating more money for such commercialized forms of music. So, what's the difference between your music and a mainstream song? No difference.
Yeah. Especially when they want you to make the same thing.
You wanna? That's what I mean. Your references are, go make a song like this film
Like
song.
this. Yeah.
Then where are you?
Where is the independent freedom? Where is independent?
Where is independence? Where is the independence?
That's a good one. I mean, that's a very broad topic also, right?
Yeah, it's
that's a
very,
good
very
one.
broad.
Well, next, let's get to the most important part of this podcast. Let's talk about TSOS, the Songs of Society. Yeah. So, what's the idea behind the band, the theme behind the creation, and the whole, basically the idea? Yeah.
Well, it's actually a very simple ideology behind TSOS. TSOS stands for the Songs of Society.
Yes.
So basically, TSOS produces songs that are relevant to social or societal issues. For
Okay.
example, suicide prevention awareness, or somebody suffering from mental health issues. I mean, not that we are doing this newly. Tons of bands have been doing this for many years now. But what's different in what we are doing differently is that TSOS, the Songs of Society, is a Tamil rock band. So we are fusing heavy metal with rap. So to deliver our content to Tamil audiences.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's to put it in a nutshell. That's all.
Perfect. Perfect. That's good. The most interesting thing is so many people are asking me. Okay, this is a question. This is from the audience. This is from the kids and students, right?
Uh-huh.
What is next for TSOS? What's happening? Yeah.
Right. Currently, we have a song called Kondatam, in the pipeline. The production is almost, it's done by, I think 80% of the production is done.
This was also for me, so I'm also asking when is it going to come out?
Right. So 80% of the production is done. We're just working on some final, things for the song, audio-wise. And video is also being planned now. Shortly, we'll start off with a video. I think we should be able to release the song by the end of next month. And you're playing the major part in the song. I think you're doing the whole vocal section of the song.
So this is where that idea that I told you, or the reality that I told you, repeats again, where he sends me the vocals, and then I think, why am I even doing this? So such a song is here, guys. Yeah.
So yeah, this song actually happened in a pretty interesting way. I think if you would allow me to share.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think you just drop by at my place one fine day, and then I've already created a few guitar parts for this, like very simple guitar parts, and then just some folk.
There was a percussion.
Folk percussions, and then we just sat, and then we just went down some lyrics. I think everything happened, in a span of like 2 to 3 hours,
Yes.
penning down the lyrics and all that. So I think this is going to be different from the usual Songs of Society songs. It's going to be totally different. It's not going to have any huge metal riffs or typical metal drumming and things like that. It's definitely going to be like a what do you call?
Mainstream commercial.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a mainstream commercial, but
Songs of Society meets business.
yes,
Stands on business.
right. So we're not doing it for any commercial reasons. It's just that we wanted to do it to make it a little more closer to the audiences.
Yeah.
We're going to continue doing what we are doing, what we have been doing all these years. But I think this is going to be a different one altogether. Yeah.
It's definitely a fun one and a humorous one and something to expect. So stay tuned. Definitely this one is coming soon. According to Arun Brother, the founder of the band, he's telling the video will be done in a month, right? So let's say all expect for that. And I'm also eagerly waiting for that.
Yeah, so my 14-year-old daughter, who's also playing bass for our band, she has played some excellent bass riffs on this song. So I think you all will be looking forward to listening to the song.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talking about his 14-year-old daughter, she's going viral for playing quite a lot of bass. That's not very prominent here. That's what I want to say. It's definitely a unique talent. Coming from a guitarist himself, so he knows what to do, and he's done some great job guiding her in the perfect direction of playing a bass guitar. So you can definitely, we'll give you the details. You can definitely go and follow. Yeah, later on we'll give you the details. You can go check out the videos. You can definitely follow and support because you know what an independent musician needs. Like the father is saying all these things, so he's put all those things under perspective when it comes to his daughter, and you can definitely see the work speak for itself. I don't need to say anything. If you go there and see what she's doing, she's becoming viral with every reel she uploads. I mean, dad is maintaining the page. So with every reel they put on, and it's going at least 100K and definitely more than that. And a lot of people are getting attracted towards it. A lot of people from outside India, a lot of people are talking, and good things are happening. We'll give you the details very soon. Yeah? Okay. So the next question is, are you looking for collaborations when it comes to TSOS?
Yes, I'm very open to collaboration. As you know, I mean, we have already produced 3 songs, in collaboration with each other. I'm definitely looking forward to a collaboration because TSOS, the Songs of Society, is all about collaboration. If there's anyone who's wanting to work with us,
Yes.
they can shoot us an email or contact us on Instagram.
Or they can shoot us a video.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's an open. I mean, like he said, definitely the things that he said, put in your mind. It's coming from the founder of the band. It's open for collaborations. Even more importantly, open for collaborations with the video and the video side of it. Yeah.
Right.
Where do you draw the line between copying and getting inspired?
Well, that's a huge topic, but I think we'll better keep it short. Well, there is a lot of controversy happening around copying and getting inspired.
Yeah.
Why?
Recently, it's a trending one also. That's what the
Yeah.
algorithm is asking for.
Yeah, so I don't want to. Yeah,
In 2 ways, as in anything that you copy becomes a hit. And the other way, if you copy, it's definitely, people definitely can pull out now. Before, people don't know where it's from. Now,
Yeah.
everybody's listening to everything, different languages, different genres across everything. So they know if you copy or if you take something
Yeah,
from
I think
somewhere.
comparatively, yes, that's true. Compared to the last few years, now people are getting more and more aware of becoming more aware of the copied or the plagiarized
Yeah, that's the word.
stuff. So I think it's a pretty vast area because when you try to define what is copy, what is a plagiarized material or what is inspired material, it's a huge debate. There's already a big debate that's happening for a recent song by a very popular Tamil composer.
Yes.
But again, the composer's explanation of that is different. And the best part is that, the audience, some of the audience, like some percentage of the audiences are even encouraging, plagiarized or plagiarism in music. They say that, okay, let it be a copied stuff, but it is better than the original stuff. And we are enjoying it. We are digging it. So, I mean, there's nothing we can talk about it.
Got it. Does the ownership of music belong to the composer or the producer?
Well, again, I think this is a controversial, huge and controversial topic. But for someone like me, I don't think I'll be able to talk a lot about
Your
this.
opinion, I mean,
Yeah,
when
my
it comes to
opinion.
you.
See, ideally, the producer is a guy who is investing all his money into, he's pouring the money into the recording sessions, paying the directly or indirectly, paying for the, musician sessions, all these things, right? So I think as a producer of a film or a project, it is the producer who should own the rights. But again, I've gone through some recent articles and some news, on the internet that the rights belong to the composer. Yeah, well and good. If the rights are belonging to the composer, or if they should belong to the composer, it's good for people like you and me, or and hundreds of millions of composers out there. Definitely, it's going to be advantageous. It's going to add up to the benefits. So I think, I mean, I'm not able to share my opinion, or I mean, share whether it is right or wrong, or things like that. But maybe my opinion is that ideally it has to belong to the producer. That's my understanding. But if it belongs to the music director, or it should belong to the music composer, well and good. It's going to benefit people like us. Simple.
Perfect. Drugs and depression in the music industry.
This has been happening for quite a while now. I mean, right from the day I started listening to the music. I mean, that's when I knew about this. But this it's been happening for so many decades now. I think music and drugs, these are two things that should never be mixed together. I mean, that's a huge topic again. Today's youngsters, they are being distracted by so many lot of so many things that we shouldn't be talking about. I mean, I don't want to send across some negative message, but all I want to say is, yeah, I think I must thank you for
They
asking
don't
this.
really care about us.
Yeah,
All
I
I
should.
want to say is that
I must thank you for bringing this question
question.
up. Yeah, I think my advice would be stay away from drugs, stay away from booze, stay away from anything, any substance.
Perfect.
Yeah, you want to be a good musician, stay away from these things.
There is not enough time to make the track. Where is time to do all of this?
Yeah, that's the trashiest part of being a musician is getting yourself abused, by or substance abuse and alcohol. I think I always tell my daughter, she's just 14, but I used to tell my perception of rock music back in the day was alcohol and drugs. It used to be cool, or you're considered uncool if you are a rock star but you don't take
Okay.
alcohol.
Understood. Yeah.
And I also used to tell her that rock music is always associated with
Yes.
consumption of this, because most of the pubs and most of the alcohol companies promote music. The music they promote is this kind of music. So, people get carried away easily. So I tell my daughter, the reason why we started the Songs of Society is also to present rock music, but not to associate it with any alcohol or drugs.
In the way that we want to share the
Absolutely,
story.
yeah. We want to take it to the masses, to the people, to people who haven't heard this kind of music. But we don't want it to be a headbanger. We don't want people to headbang to the music. Okay, they want to do it good, well and good, but we want it to be a drug-free association.
Yeah.
So we wanted to take rock music more into the masses, but we are not going to promote the use of alcohol and drugs. That's what I used to. I mean, I still keep telling my daughter. I tell her, as you grow up and as you become an independent musician, always keep this in your mind.
So the message is understood, guys. Let's go. Next question is ghostwriters and ghost producers.
Well, ghost writers and ghost producers, I myself have been a ghost writer and ghost music producer. So I don't think there is. It's not a myth anymore. It's not a hidden fact in the industry anymore. There are lyric companies in Bombay. It's like how a house where you'll have like 15 to 20 lyricists, or at least 10 lyricists to write on one particular topic. So the main guy would give it to some 10 guys who can write on the same topic, and then they mix match and they take the lyric out. Now it's just like instant. You don't have to sit and spend all your time and energy writing it. I think in a way it's useful, but as long as you don't care about name, as long as you don't care about other things, and all you need is money, I think there's no harm in being a ghost writer or a ghost producer. Yeah.
Perfectly said.
How do you? I'm sorry, but you should not let yourself get exploited. You are doing it. You make sure that you're getting paid for it.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. How do you balance your personal life and music career?
Well, again, if you're taking music as a serious option or as a long-term, thing, you will definitely require your family's support. There's no doubt about it. Whether your family is aware of, your family need not be aware of all the technical stuff that you're doing, but they should have a fair understanding and idea of what you're doing,
Yes.
or what are you into. Or if they are not at that level, it's your duty to educate them, tell them what you're doing, tell them what you're up to, and tell them that you need their support. I think without their support, it's absolutely impossible. So for me, like I said, defining my success, I've defined what my success was earlier. So for me to be from someone to be who I am today, delivering 5 or 6 songs at a professional level. So I think my wife has been a pillar of support. She has been an immense her support. I think I just cannot explain in my words. The level of support that she has given to me, the way she has supported me. So she was constantly trying to tune herself to everything that I was putting on the table. I'm doing. I started off as a guitar player, then I was a session player. So she was trying to understand what I was doing. She was trying to understand, okay, how much I was earning, what this is giving me, or she was trying to help me with certain things, though she had no idea of, music. So slowly she was trying to tune herself with me. So in every aspect of my musical journey, she tried her best to, adapt herself to what I was doing. I think that's the best way, or that's the best support she had ever given. So now, even with my daughter, my wife does not have any idea of what a bass guitar is. But when my daughter started playing bass, she started knowing more about who are the famous bassists, who are the famous female bassists in the country, what are they doing, how does a bass sound like, you know what are certain nitty gritties of bass playing, because she feels that it is a responsibility to understand these things. Only if she's able to understand what our daughter is up to, we'll be able to provide her the best support.
Yeah.
So in that way, we'll be able to support her in the long term, like the way she has been supporting me through these years. Now she started adapting herself to the base territory, or to what my daughter is doing now. Now she's pretty familiar with a lot of things now. I'm surprised. So I think if you have somebody in your family who's supporting you to that extent, definitely you can be successful. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Perfect. That's very perfectly said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your favorite studio that you're going to pick in in Coimbatore that you're going to record?
Well, I know this is going to be a little bit controversial, but I think I'll share my honest opinion. I've worked with so many studios here. I think what people lack here is the work ethics. The studios here. I mean, I'm sorry for being very, this upfront, or being so. It's not any confrontation kind of thing, but I'm sharing my honest opinion. I don't think any studio here in Coimbatore, they don't follow work ethics. I mean, there are exceptional cases. I know there's a very good. There are 1 or 2 very good studios that I worked with, or I haven't worked with, but I met them personally, or have used their facilities. They are like really really good people. They understand how to treat a musician with respect, or how to treat musicians projects with sense of urgency. But I think the majority of the studios that I worked with, they are either operating um, with with the motive of earning only money, or they have no idea of what they're doing. So I think that's a difficult question for me to name. But definitely there are a couple of good studios.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say that. I don't want to name them and create a controversy. Yeah.
Okay. So the next question is, what question you think you want to ask?
Well, since the topic, our discussion has been, going around music, I was looking forward to you asking me about, the piracy, not the movie piracy, but using, a lot of music producers using
Crack stuff.
cracking
Okay.
the software, or using pirated stuff. It might sound like a little way too much, or people might call me a boomer, for bringing up this topic. But I think this is a very important topic that we should be talking about.
Yes.
So to open up I mean, on the music plugin piracy. See, I have used pirated plugins for a while. This happens especially when you start off as a new composer or a new producer. You have no money, and then you want to do some, create some music, and you want to earn money, but you don't have the right tools. So basically, the way we are so vulnerable that we just go to the internet, or go to our friends, get this cracked plugins, and then we install them, and then we try to produce some music, and then we earn money. But I think over the years, what I have realized, what made me stop using these cracked plugins and start buying plugins, is that it's a simple business concept. You're going to a baker or to a confectioner, and you're buying something from them. So the baker is stealing the flour from somebody, and he is manufacturing the bread and selling it to you for $1.
Yeah.
How bad is that? Right? You're going to a hotel, the hotel guy is stealing the rice from somewhere, he's making it, he's making some food out of it, and he's giving it to you and making money out of it. So, I mean, I thought
It doesn't make sense.
it
It's
doesn't
not a
make
business.
it doesn't make
it's
any
just
sense,
theft.
right?
It's totally theft.
If you are serious about making music, take this. If you're not serious, this doesn't even apply to you.
Yeah.
I mean, no one cares. But at the end of the day, somebody is investing millions and millions of dollars into developing the software and selling it for $200, $300. If you think, I mean, for example, you are a carpenter, you need your tools
Yes.
to cut stuff, or and make something, and then you sell it and make money out of it. You can't steal the tools and then make stuff and then sell it. If you simply can't afford to the tools, you need to find a way to get it, or you should not, you should stop stealing, is what I thought. I mean, now there are plenty of options out there. I mean, there's splice.com. It's a very old one, very old concept. You want to plug in very badly. For example, I think today most of the young music producers, they cannot live without Omnisphere. They cannot live without Nexus or Contact. Okay, why do you want to steal it? Why do you want to crack it? Go to splice.com, get it on installments. After 2 years, it's going to be your own plugin. You can use it for 2 years, and you can also own it.
Yeah.
Why do you? That's why when I say this, people might say, "Oh, yeah, this guy is kind of speaking like a boomer." But the fact is that, guys, I think it's simply not the right thing to steal someone's hard work and earn money out of it and not pay the person back. And if you think that you're going to make enough money by using crack software and then one day you're going to pay it up, that's not going to happen.
That's not how things happen.
That's not going to happen. You want something badly, please do something. Invest your money. You want to borrow whatever it is. If you think that you're capable of getting the returns out of it, it's your music business. Buy the software, use it, get the money, earn money. That is my suggestion. I'm not gonna impose this, but I'm sharing my honest opinion.
So you're saying do it legitimately.
Absolutely.
Perfect. A question that you want to ask me.
Well, actually, what I wanted to ask you for quite a while is that, I know that you are a seasoned hip hop artist. You are teaching hip hop as a subject at many schools here in Coimbatore, and then you are also DJing. You are writing music, doing your music. A lot of hustling and side jobs are being handled by you simultaneously. And not only that, ever since we got associated with each other, right? Each time I said, bro, we've got a project and you need to come over and, let's record some stuff. So then we finalize a date, and then you are there, amidst all your, busy schedule. So, and you end up delivering the best possible, thing. You give your best. You stay there for 3 hours, 4 hours, or 5 hours. You give your best, and then you go back with the same level of energy. So all I want to understand is that, where is this energy coming from, or how are you able to derive this much of energy, deliver everything? I mean, not only with me. I mean, you have worked with almost every music producer in Coimbatore, and some of your records are still on their shelves. So I want to understand, knowing that people, some of the people are shelving your projects, some of the people are recording your stuff and not releasing it, and you're still busy with doing other stuff, and you are doing some successful projects with other people. So how are you able to give your 100% with every project?
Very good question. Big question, but let me put it into a nutshell. So the only answer I can say for that is there is no other way. Uh, if there was another way, maybe I could try. But the truth is, I don't see another way, right? Because you want to make it as an artist, you want to make it as a rapper, you want to make it as a lyricist or a musician, or you just want to make it, right?
You gotta do it.
Yeah, just like Nike, just do it.
Do it.
And I think, because since you're asking me my side, my opinion, right? Most of them are not doing it. So if you're one of those guys who does it, you're the only guy who does it.
Yeah, brilliant.
Because leave the hard work and what has to happen after that, right? Leave the process also. The fact that nobody is even executing it makes it a very small percentage of people who are like really making it, because those guys are the ones who are making it. So the guys who are making it are the guys who are making it. That's it.
That's it.
It's as simple as that. So I mean, this is to put it in a very small way. Like I said, there is no other way. This is the only way. How do I do it? I don't know. The only thing I know is I have to do it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
There is no other way. I cannot like say no, because we keep exploring. That's one of the ways to explore also. How do you know if you're good at this or that? Yeah, there's something
Absolutely,
that comes your way.
Yeah.
You might say, I expertise on this. I'm not going to even touch that. Especially when vocal projects come to me or melodies come to me or something little more harsher than that comes to me. I'm like, let's just go with it. Maybe we don't know. Right? We don't know what's going to happen. It might end up to become something really beautiful, right? You never
Absolutely.
know. So one is still the mindset of me going behind, oh, let's try it and see. Still that one. Like, will I be good at it or not? I don't know. But let's try it. Yeah? Just do it. I don't know, I'm representing Nike now. But that's it. It's so simple to just do it, right? Everything else is next. Whether you're good at it or not is totally next. So, small answer to that is just do it, because there is no other way.
Yeah, that's actually a very good thing to do, but it's very difficult to implement that in real time. That's the reason I asked you this question because it's very difficult to catch hold of every creative opportunity and try getting something out of it each time you do it. So I mean, not many people will be able to do that, at this level because everyone has some boundaries or some limitations that they set for themselves. Okay, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to work with that person. Okay, or maybe I'm not going to do. But I think your mindset or attitude tells me that you're grabbing or taking every creative opportunity that's coming your way, because definitely something can blow up, right?
Yeah, especially with that word when you said every creative opportunity, maybe not even a creative opportunity, maybe it's just something random, but you never know if it is a creative
Yeah,
opportunity.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
good that you said, I don't know if it's a creative opportunity. All I know it's an opportunity.
Yeah,
And that's the only way I want to see it. Maybe now I might think, looking at the time spent at so many places, especially when the projects are shelved, as in so many studios. Like, let me at least say this, I'm not going to say which place. So many places I have done the work is just in the shelf, right?
yeah, that's a very painful thing. Actually, you spend so many hours, so much of your energy, recording for them, singing for them, and then they finally shelve the project.
And also, maybe it's my mistake of going and doing another project and another one and another one, just like DJ Khaled says, another one. I keep doing another one for the people who don't even release the previous one.
Yeah, because you never know what's going to be there in it for you. Yeah,
Exactly. So I think maybe this is the one, or this is the one. At least let it come out. Nobody is asking it for it to be a hit. Okay. But we know what pain it takes to make a video.
Yeah.
Why would somebody call you, make the song, and they'll be like, yeah, come for the video. Just come and pose. You'll be on the video. We'll spend all the money. Why would somebody do that?
No one's going to do it.
It has to be us.
Yeah.
And that's why we'll be coming to you in a month with Kondatam song.
Sure.
If you want to do something good, you just have to do it by yourself, or find the people who are really good at all those things and do it with them.
Absolutely.
Collaboration.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. Right?
Yeah, I think they should have a meaningful and yet workable collaboration. I
Yeah.
mean, like a fruitful collaboration is what I
True.
believe. Yeah, yeah.
Your thoughts on the podcast?
Uh, yeah, this podcast has been brilliant. I think it has given me an opportunity to voice out many important things, in a very, very casual way. Uh, most of the things I think, like the questions that you have asked for my advice for the upcoming musicians, we spoke about the plugin piracy, a lot of things about my personal journey. I think it's a great platform. Um, I should thank you for starting it at this level and having me as your first guest. And I know that you are looking forward to having many more people on this platform, trying to bring a lot of guests from in and around Coimbatore. Let the people know about their achievements. I think this is definitely going to be a successful podcast. No fairy tales. It's
Oh,
no fairy
yeah.
tales podcast, guys. Do check him out.
Yes.
No fairy tales podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's I
Yeah.
think one of a different kind of a podcast. I think this is the first one in Coimbatore, if I'm not wrong. Let's see how it's gonna go. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much for that. Next, very simple. Where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
My ID is Arun_Chitturi. And if you want to check out my band,
Yes.
that's the Songs of Society on Instagram. And if you want to check out my daughter Deshna,
Yes.
she is the bassist of her band. You can find her on Instagram and Facebook. Her ID would be Deshna Chitturi.
Perfect. Well, guys, we are going to wind up the podcast. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening from everywhere you guys are tuning in. Thank you for staying all this while. If you stayed till the end, that's really great. If not, also not a problem. Well, since it's a new podcast, definitely do all those good things. Please subscribe, hit the like, smash the like button.
Smash the like button.
Yes. Also, if you have some different views on whatever we said, yes, No Fairy Tales Podcast. If you have different views on whatever we said, please put it on the comments. We'll be happy to read. We'll definitely respond. We'll just go ahead to respond. And if you want to find us, the details will be below the video. You can find us in different places. All my social media handles also will be down there. Don't forget to share it with somebody you feel like you want to share it with. And if you want to be a guest on the podcast, you can also comment or directly DM. You know where it is, or you can hit me in my Gmail or official address, anywhere you feel like, right? Facebook, Instagram, or direct message, or even in the comment section. Just put it on the comment section. Or if you like somebody else to be on the podcast that that you want to refer also, you can do that. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much for being there the whole time. Thank you, brother, for coming. It's been a wonderful session.
Thank you again, bro, for having me. Thank you, guys. See you.
Let's go.